911. What's the address of the emergency?
Yes, I am. Probably you're not taking me to jail. Please let me go. Hello?
911.
There's been a shooting at 2710 Hilda Avenue.
Say the address one more time for me.
A shooting at 2710 Hilda Avenue.
Hilda or Hilden?
Hilda.
Hilda?
Yes.
Okay, and who shot who?
My husband shot my daughter.
Around 2:30 a.m. on June 18, 2014, Robin Rutherford called 911 operators in Hamilton, Ohio, to report the most bizarre thing. Her husband, 55-year-old Alfred Rutherford, had shot their daughter, 29-year-old Lacey Rutherford, and her boyfriend, 41-year-old Steve Watkins, over a drug-related argument. When police arrived at the house at 2710 Hilda Avenue, they were shocked to discover that Alfred had shot his daughter right in front of his grandson, 6-year-old Brian, and some other kids at the house for a sleepover. When police eventually caught Alfred, all he had to say was, "They ought to pin a medal on me for this." Why did Alfred Rutherford kill his daughter and her boyfriend over a simple argument? Before disaster struck, the Rutherford family lived in Hamilton, Ohio and Butler County, Ohio. The large city of Hamilton has a population of about 63,000 people and is famous for its vibrant art scene. Known as the City of Sculpture, you can find over 40 sculptures while exploring Hamilton, and you might enjoy a tour of the renowned Pyramid Hill Sculpture Park and Museum. Hamilton has a violent crime rate of 26.5%, higher than the national average of 22.7%. But for the Rutherfords, Hamilton was home despite its flaws. Lacey Rutherford was a 29-year-old mother of one, and she had a drug addiction. She and her parents, Robin Rutherford and Alfred Rutherford, often got into fairly serious arguments over her drug use, particularly her heroin addiction. Lacey grew up to become a troubled young woman who frequently had issues with the police, sometimes drug-related. By June 2014, Lacey had accumulated 5 cases at the Hamilton Municipal Court dating back to 2012. Some of her charges included theft, driving under suspension, drug abuse, and possession of drug abuse instruments. She had also fallen on some hard times because she couldn't keep a job for long, and she spent all her money on recreational drugs, so she had to move in with her parents. On June 17, 2014, Lacey appeared in municipal court on drug-related charges. At the time, in June 2014, 29-year-old Lacey and her 6-year-old son Brian lived with Lacey's parents in Hamilton. Around 2:30 a.m. on June 18, 2014, 911 operators received a call from Robin Rutherford at 2710 Hilda Avenue.
911. What's the address of the emergency?
Yes, I am. Probably you're not taking me to jail. Please let me go.
Where are you at?
Please let me go.
911.
Hello?
911.
There's been a shooting at 2710 Hilda Avenue.
Say the address one more time for me.
A shooting at 2710 Hilda Avenue.
Hilda or Hilden?
Hilda.
Hilda?
Yes.
Okay, and who shot who?
My husband shot my daughter.
Your husband shot your daughter?
Yes.
Is she okay?
No.
Is that her crying?
No, that's her son.
Okay. Is she alert and conscious?
No.
No?
I think she's dead.
You think she's dead? Okay. How old is she?
28.
She claimed that her husband, Alfred Rutherford, had just shot their daughter, Lacey, and the daughter's boyfriend, Steve. According to Robin, Alfred had immediately fled the scene in his red Escort after committing the murders.
Where's your husband at?
He's leaving.
Okay, what's he driving?
A little red Escort.
Do you know the license plate? Are you looking for me?
FPS, I didn't get the rest of the plate.
What was the beginning of the plate?
I couldn't get the rest of the plate. He took off.
Okay, what's his name?
Alfred Rutherford.
Where's your daughter at right now?
She's laying in the hall floor.
Okay, where's the gun?
It's laying in the bedroom.
What kind of gun was it?
A shotgun.
A shotgun? But he doesn't have the shotgun, correct?
No.
Okay, what way is he going?
I don't know. He just took off.
Okay, what way would he be going down that street, though? Where would you be if you left it? your house and you went down
heading towards Millis Boulevard.
towards what boulevard?
Millis Boulevard.
I can't understand you. What boulevard?
Millis Boulevard.
Nillis?
Yeah.
Nillis, okay. And you're at 2710 Hilda. You're off of Laurel Avenue?
Yes.
Okay. Can you go to your daughter for me?
Yeah. She's
Okay.
dead.
She is dead?
Yes.
Okay, where did he shoot her at?
In the throat.
In the throat? Okay. Yeah, go ahead. You stay on the phone with me, okay? I want to get as much information as I can get from you. Where do you think he would go? Do you have any idea?
I have no idea.
Towards Neelis.
Here, honey.
In the background, the 911 operator heard the sound of someone crying. When they asked Robin who it was, she said it was Lacey's son, 6-year-old Brian.
Who is that?
That's her son crying.
Okay, how old is he?
6.
He's only 6 years old?
Yes.
Okay. Your daughter was 27?
Yes.
Okay. You're
28.
28. He's not hurt or anything. Your grandson's not hurt, is he?
He's not hurt, no.
That's just the way he went.
Yes.
Okay.
He went straight down Hilda Avenue towards Millis.
Okay. Since you don't want to be able to do CPR or anything like that, do you want to go ahead and keep him out of the room and just like maybe go into the living room or
Yes.
something? Okay, let's do that. She said he just headed towards that way. He went straight down Hilda.
Yes.
Okay, we're trying to get the officers to find him. Does he have any family members or anything that he would have been driving maybe to their house or?
No.
Okay. Were they fighting?
Yes.
Have they ever gotten an argument like this before to this? I mean, or is this something that?
Yeah, they've argued before.
Okay. You don't have any family members or anything that you can?
No, not right off the top of my head.
Okay, what's your name, ma'am?
Lacey Rutherford.
Okay. Is that my officer?
Yes.
Okay, talk to him, okay?
Robin told the operator that she saw Alfred fleeing the scene in his red Escort, but she could not see the license number. First responders to the scene found Lacey lying in a pool of blood in the hallway. She had been shot multiple times, including a shot to the throat with a shotgun. As they swept the house to find out if there were other active shooters in the house, police found Steve in the bathroom. He had been shot once in the head with a shotgun. Brian, Lacey's son, and one of his friends had been in the house that night for a sleepover. While the kids were sleeping, Lacey and her father got into an argument over a gun that Alfred believed was missing. Alfred asked Lacey if she knew where the gun was because he suspected she had sold the gun to buy drugs, but the gun was not the only bone of contention. Lacey was going through a rough patch, and she had to move back in with her parents to save on rent cost. However, according to Alfred, Lacey allowed her friends to enter the house and steal things. In fact, he believed the missing gun was with Steve. As the argument got heated, Robin, Alfred's wife, got involved and started questioning her daughter about the gun's whereabouts and her drug addiction. Soon, boiling over in a rage, Alfred brought out his 12-gauge shotgun. When Lacey saw that her father had brought out the gun, she felt panicked, but in her anger dared him to shoot her. She said he couldn't, that he didn't have the stomach for it. It would be the last thing she ever said. Alfred raised his shotgun and fired several shots at Lacey, one of them hitting her in the throat. Lacey's 6-year-old son, Brian, who had been observing the fight, stood unmoving as he watched his grandfather shoot his mother to death. After murdering Lacey, Alfred went in search of her boyfriend, Steve, and found him in the bathroom. He raised his shotgun and fired once into his head, killing him instantly. Hamilton Police Chief Scott Scrimizzi later described the scene as very tragic. He said, "Unfortunately, there was a house full of people. Terrible situation because a number of them were children. The victim's son was present. It's a horrible situation, just a horrible situation." Alfred Rutherford, affectionately known as Ike to his friends, was a troublesome and troubled man. Growing up, Alfred had several run-ins with the police for petty crimes, like stealing and loitering. By 2014, he had built himself a long and colorful rap sheet. In Hamilton Municipal Court, Alfred had 17 cases dating back to 1989. Some of the charges included operating a vehicle impaired, robbery, drug abuse, and obstructing official business. But despite his legal troubles, Alfred was known as a nice guy to people around him. and his friends loved him. After searching for him for about 9 hours, police eventually located Alfred at Joyce Park off River Road, Hamilton, around 11 a.m. on June 18, 2014. He had ditched the red Escort and was now walking along Joe Nuxall Boulevard, unarmed. Once police found him and arrested him, he was indicted by a Butler County grand jury for capital murder. Alfred was charged with 1 count of aggravated murder with a death specification for allegedly shooting Steve Watkins, and 1 count of first-degree murder for shooting his daughter, Lacey. He was also charged with 1 count of having weapons under disability and 1 count of being a repeat violent offender. His bond was set at $2 million. While in custody, Alfred admitted that he had murdered his daughter and her boyfriend without showing even an ounce of regret for his actions. Police officers reported that during a phone call, he was overheard bragging about his crimes, saying, "They ought to pin a medal on me for this one." Still, prosecutors offered him a plea deal. Plead guilty and avoid the death sentence. Prosecutors believed the case was simple. There were multiple witnesses ready to testify that Alfred was the killer, and all the evidence pointed at him, added to the fact that he had already confessed to the murders. A trial would only put unnecessary strain on the poor boy who had watched his mother die, and Robin who had to call it in. But this was not enough to convince Alfred to take the plea deal. Meanwhile, Alfred's lawyers, Greg Howard and David Washington, were working round the clock to convince Alfred to take the plea deal before the prosecutor's office withdrew it. According to Howard, the lawyers just wanted to make sure he was able to make his decision knowingly and intelligently and voluntarily. We had shown him all the evidence in this case months ago, and once again wanted to reiterate to him that this is what the jury is going to see, and the prosecutor's going to get up and call you a monster. It took showing Alfred the grotesque photos from the crime scene for prosecutors to convince him to accept the plea deal. He later told Judge Keith Spaeth, "I seen them pathetic pictures this morning, and it broke my heart." Finally, a moment of contrition, Alfred was no longer looking to be pinned with a medal for murdering his own family. In January 2015, Alfred Rutherford was sentenced to life without parole for the murder of his daughter Lacey and her boyfriend Steve. Alfred was already suffering from a liver disease called cirrhosis before the trial. At the time of the trial, doctors had given him 16 months to live. He would pass away 2 years later in 2017, alone and terminally ill. Dying 2 years after he began serving his sentence may be viewed by some as him escaping justice, especially after robbing his grandson Brian of a life with his mother. Alfred murdered his daughter and her boyfriend in cold blood in front of his grandson. Although he pleaded guilty, he never gave a reason for doing what he did, if there was a reason. Do you believe justice was served in this case? Or should he not have been offered a plea deal and given the death penalty instead? Share your thoughts in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this.